Hey everyone, Brian from Bearable Traders. It is Thursday, August 27th. Usually do this midweek around Wednesday, but had some things coming up here that I needed to take care of, so had a busy Wednesday. So getting around to this today. Let's take a look at the market action here. So you can see here, pretty choppy day on the Dow. The Nasdaq actually finished down on the day. S&P almost finished where it started. And Dow was a big gainer. You can see here the advanced declines pretty much 50-50. So market internals kind of doing their thing, not making a lot of headway. Still a pretty significant amount of stocks below their 50 and 200-day moving average, and you can see here we're going even further into the bear, even though we're up on the day in the Dow and the S&P. So it's kind of interesting price action. And let's take a look specifically at some of the indexes. Wanted to start with the transports always, and you can see here we're putting in some kind of top A action. You can see here we're really overbought on the RSI. Again, pretty big volume day and well off the high, although we still did finish in the green, I should say. Stochastics may be rolling over a bit to putting in some topping action on the transports. At the 10-year, this is really interesting. This is what really caught my eye here today is the yields are starting to come up. Now, people are saying there is inflation. People are seeing inflation. I mean, I'm personally seeing it when I go to the grocery store. I'm seeing it when I go out and do some shopping. And although the Fed's saying there's little to no inflation, but I don't know that that's really the case here. So, and the bond market is telling you that there is some inflation in the economy, and if this really gets out of control, these interest rates start really rising. It's going to be quite interesting. It could be the straw that breaks the back of this market. But at this point, we're still, we're definitely trending higher, and I'd be keeping a close eye on this. You can see RSI putting in some nice bottoming action here, and now we're climbing up. So yields are climbing, and financials should have done good today. I think they actually did do well today. See the Dow again up on the day, up 0.5%, but still off the high of the day and on volume. And we're getting a little bit overbought here. IWM again, really just struggling here. It's trying to hold the 20 moving average. RSI kind of just bouncing along, volume coming up a little bit, but still pretty lackluster average. Stochastics are heading lower, and now they're below 50, which is interesting. So when they get down below 50, it tends to indicate that any kind of rally in intraday gets sold. So that's what happens when typically when you see these stochastics dropping below 50. So interesting price action on the IWM. The Qs are actually down on the day as we saw on the first chart there. Again, we're into overbought territory and a little bit of a pullback on volume as well. The SPY, again, sort of an indecision candle here. Again, overbought on the RSI, volume picking up a bit. So there is to me, it looks like there is some selling in the market, maybe some profit taking. Some other interesting charts, UUP, this is the dollar index, seems to be kind of holding this 25 level right now. So we'll see if if interest rates continue to rise, the dollar, probably interest in holding the dollar would be there, and maybe the dollar will start to find a bottom here. May not be good for gold and other commodities. On the other hand, if there's inflation, they typically is a good place to be, gold and some of the other commodities. And the VIX actually put in an interesting day to do. So a lot of interesting action here today. You can see the VIX definitely came up today, even though both the SPY and the Dow were up. Nasdaq off a little bit, but you can see here the VIX really came up here. Yeah, so again, something kind of interesting. I think people are traders, investors, starting to maybe reach for some protection based on where we are in the markets right now. Looking for some insurance, maybe selling some calls against their positions. Yeah, so or buying, buying puts for downside protection. And the TLT, of course, down with the rising interest rates. Let's take a quick look at what we're in right now. Just a quickie, you can see DBA. This is the agriculture fund. I mentioned that commodities do well in inflation, and you can see here we're coming up. Got into this just under 1390. It's not a huge mover, but it's definitely moving in the right direction. And just getting a little bit overbought here, and be looking to take some off if we get up to this, getting pretty close to the 200-day, and I'm sure, look at the volume on that too. So nice little trade going on DBA. Intel, I'm still watching it, still sort of having trouble getting through 50, but I have an entry here around 48, so I'm holding that unless it drops below there. Space, I'm still holding on to a little bit of that. I still think it's still holding this 200-day moving average. If it loses that, I will be out of it. And where's the other one? I do have another one here. Sorry about this. Calm. Calmaine Foods really got sold off on. They were doing some secondary offering and really, got taken to the woodshed. I found unnecessarily. Given how much they sold into the market, it was a bit of an overreaction. So, holding the 200-day, bought in down here on this dip below it. This is an area here. You can see this was all prior support, and I'm sure, and that's right at where these moving averages are, around 43.90. So I'll be looking to take some off if we do get up to 43. Otherwise, I'm just going to hold it, and as long as it continues sort of hold this 200-day moving average, sort of the 41 level, I'll stay in it. And RSI is coming up on it. Volume's picking up a little bit. Stochastics now turning up, so I think it looks pretty good. I'm just going to hold on to that one as well, unless we really get a breakdown. So that's it, everybody. I just like I said, I've been super busy with some other things, some other life things, and so that's going to leave it for now. But I'd be watching for the markets to roll over, maybe. Maybe we're in for a little bit of a correction here. We'll see how Friday plays out. But yeah, and then we'll be into the weekend. So it's my book on Amazon, How to Swing Trade, if you haven't checked it out. And we'll, of course, see you in the Bear Bull Trading Pre-Market Show. Starts at 8:30, and then trading the market at 9:30 a.m. We'll see you all tomorrow, hopefully. Bye for now. Have a great night.